First and foremost, I have never ever seen a slanging match of verbal rhetoric going between the leader of the United States and the leader of a hermit kingdom. In other words, isolated in his own kingdom, not really open to the rest of the world, not really maybe used to a Twitter president, not really understanding the nuance of what happens in the public square, with nuclear weapons and ICBMs, which he's already threatened the world with. So right now, I'm afraid that this kind of verbal volleying of warfare that's going between these two countries could lead that leader or anybody else into a miscalculation and a blunder that would spell a horrendous disaster. You know, I don't want to see a nuclear weapon fired in anger or by mistake, or in a misjudgment of whether he's under attack or not. Yeah. So I'm very, very worried about that. I've never seen this ever in my life, and it goes against everything people have advised, the US not to do. Do not goad this person. Do not shove him into a corner. Do not allow him to miscalculate and misread you. So I'm very, very worried about that. And I've spoken to many, people who've actually got much more experience with the North Korean leadership than I have, who've said precisely the same thing, that they're not a suicidal regime, but you don't want them to misunderstand your geostrategic position vis-a-vis their country. And then I would say that, North Korea has, as I've said, nuclear weapons, and it's developing ICBMs in order to deliver those nuclear weapons. That's different than Iran. Iran never had any kind of weapons or warheads or anything. And the West, under President Obama, which was really, really significant, and the rest of the world with China and Russia, entered, as you know, several years of intense negotiations, which resulted in a very grown-up deal, the Iran nuclear deal, which ring-fenced the biggest, most worrying part of what people thought Iran might one day do. Very important. So I obviously think that it would be reckless to ditch that, particularly while we're in a situation with another guy, another leader, who we've never spent that much diplomatic and political energy on. We have never tried to really ring-fence them in a serious way. A couple of times it happened. President Clinton did it. Finally, President George W. Bush did it. But it sort of was allowed to sort of, fall off the reservation, and not enough effort was paid to it. So you don't want to be ditching the Iran deal while you're trying to figure out how to deal with North Korea. And I think right now, as we understand, President Obama told President Trump that the most important, dangerous challenge for him would be North Korea. We really do need to focus very heavily on that. And it can't just be a war of words, which may boil over into something worse. And President Bush, George W. Bush, told President Obama that Iran would be the most important thing for him to deal with, and Obama did. Yeah, yeah. Now, right-wingers in the United States and in Israel and the rest of it don't like it, but it actually is the best. It's not perfect, but in these situations, you cannot have perfect be the enemy of the good. And it secures for a period of time, a significant period of time, and Iran is in full compliance according to all the organizations that have to judge whether it's in full compliance or not. So you want to transpose something similar to North Korea. It's over. You cannot denuclearize North Korea in the foreseeable future. The only thing you can do is try to get some kind of containment, some kind of Soviet US style mutually assured destruction, and very, very serious containment of that program.
How does that situation ever play out? I mean, is North Korea going to be fundamentally different in 30 years than it is now?
Yes.
Because of information, the internet?
Yes, yes.
It can't survive.
It has survived and it will survive.
Okay.
But it'll change. Bits and bobs will change. People ask in 1979, will Iran be the same as it was at the height of the revolution? No, it's changed. Right. People want something different. The only reason the Iran nuclear deal was signed is because of who was elected in Iran, not because of Obama and all the others. They did the right thing in terms of diplomacy, but Iran responded because of Hassan Rouhani, who was a reformer and who answered his voters, who said, we want you to increase tensions. We want a better relationship with the rest of the world. We want our economy back, and the only way to do that was to get rid of the global sanctions. And the only way to do that was to play ball in a deal on the nuclear program.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, learn from the best minds in the world, and connect with a community of passionate people building the best versions of themselves. Just click on the link below, and I'll see you on the inside.